Okay, round two. Due to the sound check, it got a little loud. It got a little loud downstairs. But I'm actually in the presence in interviewing two celebrities. And yes, actually, they are. If you look it up, if you look them up online, and also two fantastic musicians who are going to go very far in the music industry. Honestly, and we're at the place where I saw them the first time 3 years ago, Crocodile Rock here in Allentown, Pennsylvania, newly reopened and remodeled. But let me introduce, and also I have to thank them very much. From when I started the magazine, they have been a big supporter of my magazine. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Danielle and Jennifer. Now, how long have you been doing music?
Probably about 3 years right now. We've been performing live for about 3 years now, but we've been writing for much longer. Yeah.
Okay, but how long have you been writing?
I mean, we started out writing. There were some songs that we wrote when we were kids, but they were never something that we actually followed through with. That was professional enough. It was
Half
just
written in a notebook, but that was
lyrics
here and there. But that's so when we were kids.
Now
that
we're
was a while
actually
ago.
serious about it.
You can't be too serious about anything though, because then it just becomes kind of like commercialized and.
It's true.
Serious in a fun way.
We're not serious about it at all.
No,
We're not. It's all a joke.
this is such a
Okay, now in round one, what I said about the celebrity part. Okay, it's not just the music with you two. Am I right? You started off before the music. There was there was another artistic. You did something else artistic. So
Can I brag about you first? Sure. She was on Law and Order twice. She did SVU and Criminal Intent. So you can go to tvguide.com and search Jennifer Michelle Brown, and it shows up. So that's awesome.
But she was on Broadway, which is everyone's dream. She was in Les Miserables as young Cosette and young Eponine for like 2 years and 9 months.
Damn.
We've done like voices of Blue's Clues characters, done All My Children.
hey, that's I used to be hooked on that when my grandmother used to watch it. Okay, yeah, I used to watch the soap operas, so yeah, I'm familiar with it.
I was David's daughter, and she died as an infant, but
So she
I
came back as an angel.
So I came back as a ghost, and I was about, I guess, 7 years old,
Okay.
and I disappeared off the screen. It was awesome.
So how did you, acting and music? Okay, yeah, it can be one and the same, but also, like, how did you get, all of a sudden get into the music part of it?
I think it was mainly because we wanted to do something together, and with acting you can't really choose whether or not you're cast together or not. And a lot of things we were fortunate with Blue's Clues that they took both of us, but and we did off-Broadway shows together, and but this was a way that we could always be together and we could always collaborate and use our sisterly harmony. And I think that was the main reason.
Okay. Since you mentioned the sisterly harmony, okay, I've listened to some of your music. It's fantastic. But in every, brothers and sisters, they have conflicts. Does, like, whenever you two, like, have an argument or something, does that ever, like, spark the creative side also and just, like, maybe spark a new song or something? Or is it just kind of...
The arguing doesn't last long, so I can't answer that. 'Cause it lasts like 5 minutes, and then we're friends like 10 minutes later.
If we disagree on something, it's kind of like we leave, and then 5 minutes later we're together and we're working out the rest of the song. So I think that it probably makes us stronger.
Okay.
I guess.
Because sometimes it can tear apart, but, I mean, especially like, every time I see on Facebook all these people that are like, oh, I only live positive and everything. I'm like, you know what? It's the negativity in life that often sparks the greatest creativity. So it's like, I was just curious if that did help at times.
I mean, there's other things that happen to us, like negative things that sparked our creativity. We've got a lot of songs out of, things that we've been through. and I think in return it helps other people, and because they can relate to it, and they can relate to a time when they felt that way as well. So I mean, not.
So you write from life experience. You write a lot from life experience versus, okay, well I have this idea and try to write the more commercialized. You know, okay, well this is going to be number one on Billboard. So you write from actual life experience versus, you know, versus the, God, I hate using cliches, cookie cutter.
Right. I mean, we try, when we started writing, and this is kind of how it started as well, when we wanted to do something together, but we also wrote as self-expression, just to kind of get it off of our chest.
And it's therapy for us.
Exactly.
I will completely agree. My first book is like an autobiography, 25 years, and you know, all of it is. It's like, okay, this was, you know, when I was a teenager, I was like typical guy holding everything in. That was my way of, you know, letting everything out. So yeah, a lot of people can actually relate to that. Now, I'm gonna have a way to jump around. It's my brain works fast when I'm on the go. I'm gonna jump back to the acting, how I got into the music. One of the points of my criteria is the stage show and the crowd interaction. Two important points. And okay, does the band and do the musicians get the crowd involved in it, or is it just, okay, here's the stage, here's the crowd, here's the wall? Okay, how important is it for you to use your acting, you know, the acting background and your acting abilities to make the people feel like they're actually a part of the show versus just watching you perform?
We actually have, it's funny that you say that, because we actually try and get our audience involved as much as possible, just because we grew up in the theater, and we like to paint a picture of what our music video would be to this song. So
Okay.
instead of just singing the song, we have a song where it's called Loaded Guns and Star
It was
and
the whole reason, like, we wrote it because we had a picture in our head about this, you know, the standoff in, I guess, the open desert, and there's a tumbleweed going by, and there's two people,
like the
and,
shootout.
The typical Old West, like the movies in the black, and yeah.
but they both have their guns and they're like in their holsters, and we kind of just wrote the song based on that, which is
We took the idea and we put it towards like what it would be in a relationship, where
Wow.
where each person is
you're trusting each other,
exactly.
but
Yeah.
you don't know who's gonna pull the trigger first.
Yeah, my belated wife and I, she was my other half, but in every aspect, when we got into it, it was like face to face. So yeah, I understand, you know, and I'm sure a lot of, you know, especially a lot of couples can understand that too, where it's like, you know, you just say, even like the smallest things build up, and it's like, you want to go off on the other person, but it's like, who's going to go out, who's going to take the first shot?
Exactly. And with this song, that's how we get people involved, because a lot of people can relate to that. But we also have a crowd interaction where we make people pretend like they're traveling to the Wild West. And
Don't tell them the rest. It has to be.
oh, you have to.
Oh, I don't want to, no, this is an interview. You say just enough to get people like, I got it, I have to go, I have to check them out, you know?
Yes.
And also I'm an author, so it's like, I'm an author, so I know how, you got to leave that perfect cliffhanger, you know? So now, you do shows, New York, Philadelphia, you're back here to Allentown. Thank you for doing the show here tonight. I've been wanting to see you two again for 3 years, and unfortunately, thankfully next year it's going to be easier, but it's been tough for me even to get out of the area with everything going on. What are some of your favorite venues and places to play? And you've done major festivals and everything.
Yeah, we did Dewey Beach Music Festival this year. We've done Liberty Music Fest.
We love playing at Dobbs, legendary Dobbs in Philadelphia.
A lot of local bands, original bands, are starting to play down there.
One of our favorite venues is Chaplin's, though, in Spring City.
Okay.
It's an amazing venue. So,
Yeah, just a quick plug, I met the owner and saw the photos.
yes,
That place is that place is beautiful.
it's awesome.
That place is seriously beautiful.
We played there a few times, and hopefully we'll be playing there more often. We're excited.
Good. So now, I pretty much, for a short interview, I think I've pretty much covered everything, including a couple of things that people wouldn't expect. I just have two more questions, and we're going to wind it out. I don't want to hold you up, and I can't wait to see you two on stage and do the review. Honestly, I mean, no offense against any bands, local or major out there. It's rare to get excited about a band anymore just 'cause I've seen so many, you know. But so what do you live actually? One of your places you live is here in Pennsylvania. You've been to Bethlehem here a couple times. So what do you think of like the Allentown, Bethlehem, Eastern Lehigh Valley area? Just totally off topic.
I think it's beautiful. I mean, we've traveled around with our grandparents to go shopping around Christmas time, and we've actually tried to find the star, which we successfully did.
Took us a
There's
while.
actually They actually have a new one this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they replaced it with I guess a true Moravian star. What?
Is it in the same spot?
It's in the same spot. It's a different shaped star this year.
We'll have to make our grandparents drive to find it again. But I mean, I love the area. I think it's beautiful.
Especially around Christmas time.
Yeah, it's the only time of the year when I lived in North Carolina. It was the only time of the year where I missed the cold weather in the Lehigh Valley. It's so beautiful up here.
Definitely is.
So, final question, and I always end every interview with this one. Advice to other musicians, artists, no matter how old people are. I mean, if you're young like you two, if you're a dinosaur like myself, people like next year. I actually have the lyrics, 6 songs, the lyrics written to it. I just can't play an instrument, and I want to find somebody to do the music. And actually, I want to get on the other side of it, even if I suck. Hey, at least, just for the fun, doing it for fun. So advice to anybody out there, whether they're 10 years old going to school rock or something, or 55, 60 and say, you know what, I've always wanted to do this. I'm retired. I don't want to make it big. I just want to get up on a stage, hit an open mic and do this for fun. Advice to our, musicians and artists in general out there, especially in today's world of the indies, and that's a double-edged sword.
I think my main advice for people is just to never give up and just to keep going. And no matter how bad you think you are, there's always going to be somebody out there that thinks that you're better than them. And I think it's just all a matter of attitude. And it really doesn't matter if you're good or bad. It's just attitude. If you have the drive to keep going and to make it, then you will. And I think it's just a matter of keep working.
Okay.
And there's times where like it's not gonna be fun.
It's going to be flat out work.
There's times when it's you think it's not worth it, that you just want to give up, but
But then there's times that are completely worth it, and you realize that this is what I'm doing, and when other people say that you've touched their lives in some way just because of the music that you write, and that right there, I don't need to be the most famous person in the world. I don't need to be a millionaire. It's just that hearing that makes it all worthwhile.
Okay.
So, I think that anybody that has a passion for it, I think they should go and try it out.
Okay. Well, thank you both very much for your time.